Good morning. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, and it sure feels good to be hosting you on today's breakfast show. And with me in the studio is a public affairs analyst. He's also a political scientist, Olamileko Adefolari. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me, and a very good morning to our viewers out there.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's look at the headline stories on some select newspapers this morning across the nation. We are starting off with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is leading with a story as after court ruling, INEC postpones governorship polls by 1 week to reconfigure beavers. As after court ruling, INEC postpones governorship polls by 1 week to reconfigure beavers. So the story is on page 4 of Leadership. And still on Leadership, there are 4 points to at issue on the postponement of governorship polls and the reconfiguration of beavers. The first one is experts say INEC may have been forced to shift the polls because the process of reconfiguring beavers takes real time. Secondly, some others argue that the beavers is a near real-time machine, which means the reconfiguration of the 194,464 devices can be done simultaneously within a short time. Thirdly, the beavers has generated a lot of controversy among the various political parties and their candidates, with some hoping that the device can grant them winning magic. Fourthly, meanwhile, the postponement of the polls is coming after President Buhari, Tinubu, and Atiku had arrived around Lagos and Yola for the exercise. And of course, in front of a Leadership story, we have a board picture at that of persons, members of National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, during a road walk to commemorate Women's Day in Abuja yesterday. Yesterday was International Women's Day, which is celebrated annually on every March 8th, every year. From Leadership, we move over to the next paper. We have on our list, and that is This Day newspaper. This Day is leading with the story. Incidentally, all the papers this morning have this similar story as their headline news. It says INEC shifts governorship state assembly polls to March 18. It says postponement to ensure adequate time to back up data stored on over 176,000 beavers used for presidential NAS elections. Political parties can apply for certified true copies of back-end data of beavers. Appeal court refuses to stop commission from reconfiguring beavers, as a headline story on This Day newspaper. Also, This Day also had a story on the presidential and national assembly elections, which held on February 25th. It says NBA, despite criticism, 64.6% voters satisfied with presidential National Assembly elections, urges INEC to ensure glitches in beavers fixed for governorships / houses of assembly poll. Apex Muslim body cautions against inciting remarks, logs INEC's professionalism. That's on This Day newspaper. And of course, we also have a picture of the senator-elect for FCT, and incidentally, she's a woman, Ireti Kingibe, with the presidential candidate of Labour Party. That is posed for the senator-elect for the Federal Capital Territory, Ireti Kingibe, and the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, after the incoming lawmaker received her certificate of return from INEC in Abuja yesterday. And congratulations to Ireti Kingibe.
Exactly.
It's a good one.
Exactly.
After how many tries, she finally succeeded.
I think she was there in 1999 to 2003.
She was there?
Yes, she was the first FCT senator in the Fourth Republic. And because at that point in time, there was not too much there was not too much political awareness on the indigenous people contesting for that particular seat. So she got it. I think by now,
as a senator.
As a senator, I think this is the one that we can say, okay, she really got it as a result of
But not many people knows this. I, for one, I didn't know that she was there before.
She was there before. She was a journalist.
She was also one time like that, my editor in chief.
So she was a journalist and she had the opportunity of contesting. That time, as I said earlier, there was no awareness from the indigenous.
We are going to be talking more on that in the second topic we are going to be discussing, because yesterday was International Women's Day. So we are going to be talking about the women and the politics in Nigeria. But before we do that or talk about these shifts in governorship and House of Assembly polls, let's look at other papers' headline stories. Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says still the same story. Beavers, INEC shifts Guba Assembly polls to March 11. Needs 5 days to reconfigure 176,606 Beavers machines. Confusion errors, postponement. Court okays INEC's request to reconfigure Beavers. Declines to vary order allowing Obi Atiku to inspect electoral materials. Grants Tinubu access to electoral materials to prepare his defense. INEC can't be trusted. Osotukun, DG Obidati PCC. Atiku Okowa legal team meets over appeal court ruling. Atiku assembles 19 sons to challenge presidential poll. And still on the nation says still the same story. INEC shifts governorship assembly polls by 1 week. Court declines Obi's request to stop agency from resetting Beavers. The ruling of the tribunal makes it possible for the commission to commence the preparation of the Beavers. It has come far too late for the reconfiguration to become concluded. That's the story on the Nation newspaper. From the Nation, we move over to the Punch. The Punch is punching with INEC shifts governorship assembly polls by 1 week. INEC shifts governorship assembly polls by 1 week. Commission says despite ruling 176,000 machines can't be reconfigured before Saturday. Election materials distribution disrupted in Delta, Osun, Bayelsa, Cross River, all others. And of course, still on the Punch newspaper, we had a photograph story of the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, as he marks 66th birthday with Bono orphans. You can see the pictures on gracing the cover of the Punch newspaper. You have behind him his wife, right there. Still on the Guardian, court orders Beavers reset as INEC shifts Guba polls to March 18. INEC, Beavers reconfiguration, transport logistics, 4 shifts by 1 week. Appeal court grants Tinubu access to inspect Beavers for defense. Atiku Obi's request to inspect election materials still in force. Atiku inaugurates legal team. Lawyers weigh in on reconfiguration verdict. Lagos court orders INEC to upload results to IREV. NBA tax INEC to fix Beavers glitches before Saturday. Afenifere, INEC illegally declared Tinubu as president-elect. Obi won. I think that is all we can take on today's Inside Nigeria newspaper headline story, because all the papers today across the nation have the similar headline stories. Now, let's talk about this Beavers reconfiguration, which the court have appeal granted INEC, and of course the consequential shift of the polls to March 18.
I think the shift was in quest to the court case.
Yes.
The INEC was waiting for, so they were not able to reconfigure. Immediately after the presidential election, they're supposed to go into that. But because of the court case, they have to relax a little, and they waited until the court have to grant them the opportunity to go and reconfigure. If not, by this Saturday, everybody will be preparing for the governorship election. Yes. But be as it may be, it's not something that we should be worried about. 1 week from now, and the governorship election will be conducted. And another aspect of the reconfiguration is not that the data should be lost, because the rumors
has been the worry that many are of the opinion that data will be
Data
cloned.
will be lost.
And besides, many, like I asked my guest yesterday that with INEC seeking approval from the court, does it mean that, oh, in case anything happens, any mishaps, at least let it be that on record that we got a legal backing?
It's not even
for
INEC
that.
that took INEC to itself to the court. It was the political party that took INEC to court that it should not be configured. So INEC have to stand in and say they have the power to configure their beavers. The case was not instituted by INEC, it was instituted by political party that INEC must not be configured because of the information in the beavers. But as it is now, the information is well stored according to INEC. It's in their back-end storage facility. So there's no.
And then the court said that they should print
the hard copy of it. Definitely,
it should be given to political parties.
Definitely, it should be given to them, and that is. But just that, yet to the appeal court that went ahead and said, okay, they can give them that document. It's a post-election issue. It has to start from the trial has to start from the tribunal.
And INEC also went to court that the appeal court should vary the order given to inspect.
Exactly.
And the court declared, which is a good one. You say, okay, somebody is going to somebody is going to court to prove his case, something. And you said that they should vary order, granting them access to this election.
The reason why INEC is standing now is that the law, the process of going through such is from the tribunal end. The political parties are just looking for shortcuts. You see what happened last week when the same political party ran to Supreme Court and said, let them stop the announcement of the winner of the election. And then the following day, when the judgment will be taking place, they went and withdrew it because they discovered that they are just looking for shortcuts. Rather, they should what I've discovered.
But the court said no, declined this INEC's request. I'm talking about on this varying order.
The court declined it, saying the court of appeal
declines to vary order allowing OB article to inspect election materials.
Definitely, the court will definitely give him that opportunity.
But why would INEC, on the other hand, these are people that agreed that said no, we want the election. They are demanding their mandate. They allege irregularities and malpractice in the election. And now you are going to court that the court should not grant them order to inspect all the election material. Does it make sense?
Definitely to the hearing of everybody, it doesn't make sense. But to the process of how they're supposed to ask for such. The one that because what INEC is doing is that we have a modern way of going through this and assessing our document for election. It goes to the tribunal. See, what I've discovered about this legal team of this opposition political parties, they are just exposing themselves to the ridicules of what APC at the end of the day will use against them. Some of these things they are asking the court in a shortcut way will be asked at the tribunal. Not now, because at the end of the day, by court of appeal, so okay, they should go and inspect. Supreme Court, the INEC will definitely take it appeal against it at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will say no, go back to the tribunal, and it's a post-election issue. So anything you want to do in election issue, it starts from the tribunal. That's why they have 30 days. In the 30 days, they will prepare their petition. Inside the petition, they will write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many they can write what they want to be done. They will write it there. But they're now going to the court of appeal to begin to jump ship or what they're supposed to do against what they're supposed to have done in the tribunal. By now, the other party would have prepared, okay, this is what these guys are coming from. And they will prepare very well. I don't know what their legal team is doing.
The president-elect team too, they have also set up a legal team also to also have access to this. So in order
and
to
the court
prepare,
said, and the court said, give them access. The court
so in order to prepare their defense.
The issue is that it is at the tribunal. Some of these things will be given properly. Now you go and inspect. You get to INEC and INEC will say you don't have the power because you have to go to the tribunal. Go and set up your petition. That's what happened in Adeleke case also. Before the tribunal now said, let us recount the vote. Let us check the evidence of voters, numbers, whatever in the papers. Initially, they went to the normal court and asked, and the court said, go ahead. But when they get to INEC, INEC refused them and said, go to the tribunal. It is at the tribunal they now write again. Then the tribunal now say, okay, INEC, give them access.
Not that you just mentioned the Osun. Incidentally, the presidential candidate of Labour Party is head of a legal team. Biazu is also the
exactly.
team. And he also dropped something that Beavers is very, very important. It's crucial that when he's a candidate, that is Adeleke, that they've discovered in other cases when they are going to court that there was no overvoting.
Definitely, that's what
when he was addressing the press, that is what he said.
And why?
So in other words, they already have a case. So he was saying that why beavers is very, very crucial for them to study, like what happened in the Ocean State.
Ocean
That
State
they have
election.
discovered that there was no overvoting
Overvoting.
with the beavers.
Beavers, but there is overvoting on the ballot papers. The numbers of ballot paper exceeded what is in the beaver. That is what he's trying to explain.
Yes, but it's exactly.
That's
so
what he's
that
trying
he
to
was trying
explain.
to explain that. So beavers is
It's very important.
crucial. So at the end of the day, so what are we now looking at? They will now have access to all these.
The thing is that INEC will go take that case to Supreme Court and they will ask them to go back to, because the normal procedure is that from your petition paper, this is what you want, this is what you want, this is
But
what you
now
want.
that the court has also granted INEC, but they said let them, when you have saved this, save them in your clouds,
The
or
cloud, whatever, your back end
whatever,
storage.
you give them printed copies of these things.
INEC may give them, but the issue is that the process of getting some of these things is through the tribunal. You have more access to it, because if INEC want to do any bad man job, now they will go and appeal it, they will take it to the Supreme Court and say at this point it is a post-election issue that's supposed to be treated from the appeal from the tribunal to the appeal from the appeal.
No, but if I recall vividly, it's INEC that actually went to seek approval to reconfigure.
No, the reconfiguration is different from the other one. Now,
no, that's what I'm saying. That is where these issues are coming out from.
You know, when INEC, the reconfiguration issue started this way, political parties say no, INEC must not be configured.
No, when INEC said it was going to be configured,
they now took INEC. They now went to court. Okay, let's say INEC went to court, and INEC gave it order
to seek approval. Sorry,
and they reconfigure, and they got it.
And the other people protested. That, no, they are not going to.
And you know, there was two cases that the appeal court did on that same particular issue.
Appeal court already initially granted them access. That's Labour Party and PDP access for record to access
the document of the election.
Only for a week after we saw INEC saying it intends to go to court. I read it as a news before that it intends to go to court to seek approval to reconfigure beavers. So it actually went to court after that declaration. And the court meeting yesterday now they overruled the
political parties
that no, let INEC reconfigure the beavers, because without it they said they cannot hold
the governorship election. But be as it may, because
be that as it may, and INEC, while seeking approval, also wanted court to vary
the
their
particular
access,
issue,
access to election materials, with the court overruled that no, declines to vary order following. So it's not really the political party's fault. So you think the INEC will now want to appeal against it? That means it has something to hide. It will appeal it that it doesn't. It will not.
Not that he has something to hide. They will just want to follow the procedures. Okay, if you have any electoral issue, it is to the tribunal, and that's what me I'm just trying to point it out. It is to the tribunal. You ask for some things. You don't go to the court of appeal or to go and be seeking election issues when it has not gone to the tribunal, because it is from the tribunal first.
Yes, I've also been wondering that why is everything now centered in the court?
Not just court, including Supreme Court. I made mention of the one that the 6 governors of the PDP ran to the Supreme Court only for sudden on Friday morning to go and withdraw the case. And that's why I say they're only looking for shortcut, and the shortcut will not help them. It is already exposing whatever strategy, whatever will be their prayers and the tribunal. Rather, they should keep this in the document and submit to the tribunal. It will help them a lot, and it also doubts the rigmarole that is around the legal team they are constituting, because on the legal team they are constituting, they have to brief them properly. It is not about the money. It is about having the best materials for your case. Because if you don't have the best material for your case, at the end of the day, the legal team will just draft it because already you have exposed everything to the public. And that's what the opposition party are doing. And my own candid advice for them, keep this thing, take it to the tribunal and trash it one after the other. This Tinubu is having about 32 sons. You should be betting that they will go to strategically look at each of the prayers of the opposition party.
32 or 16, because I also actually said it, because I saw it. I read it in the paper yesterday, but by the time I was discussing it, and somebody said no, that they approved it too. But that's 16. So what are we having at the end of the day? This shift, governorship shift. What does it contain? Is there
although there will be, yes, because many people have traveled for the governorship election. That
yes, they have to come back.
come back. Some will not come back with the cash crunch that we're experiencing. Who will come back? They will just managely stay and manage themselves in that place. Where some who have the wherewithal can come back, or who don't travel far, the distance is not far, maybe in Nasarawa, you can come back. But the major thing is that it is to also help INEC to re-strategize, to help the security agencies to re-strategize, and also to help the political campaign parties to reach out to places they have not been able to reach before, so they can mobilize themselves and also preach the gospel of their vote for us. We are ready to do this, we are ready to do that. Because that's the opportunity that this postponement have given. But another key issue is that for Nigerians to prepare their mind that they should go and vote rightly. That's just what it has been. And again, on the other side is that it has reduced the tension, because especially like in Lagos side, I see it's only Lagos that is conducting election.
Why is there so much interest in Rivers State?
Lagos.
Sorry, in Lagos State.
Even Rivers State have even died down, because now people have jumped ship from one party to the other. Lagos' own is more or less like because of especially although Lagos is quite popular, it's quite an intriguing state, based that the president-elect is from there, and based on the last outing of that election that Labour won the presidential election in Lagos. So there's this thing that people are saying there's going to be a rematch, and this rematch is going to be more hard than.
But one thing that people should know is that Guba is different, because your interest may vary from, like, because we had that in some states during the February 25th presidential poll, people will say, okay, but vote for this particular candidate, but don't vote for this person. People were voting. So I think this one is actually different.
It's local. It's a local politics that is going to deal with local issues. But we may also not forget that the what rub on the presidential election can also rub on this particular one, especially like the Lagos factor. Where
no, it may not rub in the sense that we have a presidential, like for instance, Labour Party won in Lagos. We even saw it to the build up to the election, and he was always having an edge over the others. But in this Guba, just like what you said, it may be different. In as much as we prefer Labour Party, he won Lagos. But this time, Guba, I prefer. I may actually prefer this one. If it doesn't follow that, because you want the presidential,
you are going to.
You are also wanting to vote the
other
candidate for that party.
What I'm trying to
is what I'm trying to say.
I get what I'm trying to point out is because it is a local politics that have to deal with majorly indigenous political interest.
But there's one thing that people are saying that is good now, that there's so much awareness that, of course, you saw that during the campaigns, we saw the present governor even going to
create areas that normally
they wouldn't have gone, because they were just saying for granted, maybe I don't want to call it talks will do it for me. But this time around, you see him actually going out, reaching out. That is what
even the governor of Nasarawa State also did the same thing during the week. He went to areas that
which normally
they
would just like take it as their.
That's why I said what happened in the presidential, whereby there was a rub from the Labour Party issue that even candidate that nobody even thought of could win one election, like the guy that won election in Kaduna State. Nobody knew that guy was a former PDP councillor, but he went broke. So he was not an Okada rider.
So we heard.
He was not an Okada rider, so he now used that opportunity of a labor thing and became a house. But the key issue is that as he's coming to National Assembly, we hope he will not go back to his PDP. That is
and there's also another thing too that also happened in Lagos, same Lagos that we are talking about, that the House of Reps that even won against our own Banky W. It's even a Benue guy. He's a Benue guy.
He's from Benue.
And they got their phones on a free. He wasn't even aware. They had to go and tell him that when you picked phone, you won. And he was like, I won.
Not only that, there was also in Lagos also there's one of the NSAS lawyers, which I know personally as a friend, also won based on the same issue of
Labour Party.
Yes, Labour Party. And that was the one that won against Obani Koroson in a church and local government. So the key message to most of them is that now that you are here, you are coming.
That one that won against Banky W is so painful, because Banky W too has also contested twice.
You have to use court to collect his primary candidate from the PDP or that.
And this is something that for most of us anyway.
That is what happened now. Yeah, are you not seeing the FCT election too? the Senate,
Yes,
with
you
all
know,
the hope that maybe Senator Rita will come back
yeah, it has been there for years and
and
years and
for 12 years or so.
12 years.
It was 8 years in the House of Reps, then 12 years in the Senate.
12 years in
Yes,
Senate.
Senate.
That's quite much. Okay, we are going on a break. When we come back, we want to be talking about women and their role in politics, right? Nigerian politics. Please don't go away. We are coming back.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. This is Inside Nigeria. It's a breakfast show where we discuss front page news headlines on some select newspapers and is reaching you on leadership television. With me in the studio has been a political scientist and a public affairs analyst, Olamilekan Adefolari. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for
And
having
I'm
me.
Winifred Bebo, your host on the program. Before we went on break, I said we were going to be discussing women and their role in politics, Nigerian politics. Is actually yesterday was International Women's Day. International Women's Day celebrated every March on the 8th of March every year. And let's see, like we just discussed, you were taking the who got who won a senatorial ticket from the last February 25th presidential and national assembly polls. We are talking about, we are of the opinion that women in this election has not really, there has been a declining participation of women in politics. Aside from this 2019, starting from 2019 and up to now, women has not been able to get adequate representation, even in National Assembly and ministerial position. What is actually happening? What is happening? Like when the news broke that Natasha Akpoti of Kogi State also, we were also jubilating, not knowing that we were jubilating too soon. And we got to know that it was not. So what is happening? What is happening actually? And this day has a cover story too above the masthead. Tinubu, we must harness our demography, numerical value to make progress. Women's role invaluable.
It's a very strong statement from him, but we just hope that, one thing about politics and politicians and women is that the women are easily coerced into participation, into activism in the politics. But when it comes to the appointment, when it comes to giving the opportunity to go and contest for electoral position, they normally limit them.
Exactly, because
they
when
will
you
give
talk
several
about
excuses.
Women, the people who vote, it's women that vote. Just like what you point, they are easily coerced. They just women. Like for instance, last week we saw, was it Wike or so, appealing to women to vote for, and Obaseki too. The same thing also played out. It was Obaseki actually that was appealing to women to ensure his party's victory at this next coming polls. So they are actually coerced. But at the end of the day, why is it? Because of the rough terrain of politics?
It's not the rough terrain, but it's just like the way society has been, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, the way we have been structured in terms of what role should we be giving to women, what opportunities should we open up for women or how much women should we accommodate in a particular organizational structure. That's what we have found. That's the challenge that we have. But we just hope that this narrative will change in the sense that we have opportunity given to them. And although some arguments have been put out that even when women are given the opportunity, there's a way they normally come into organization, and at the end of the day, it doesn't sit well with certain individuals in the organization. Someone asks, will you prefer a woman boss? Between a man boss and a woman boss, which one do you prefer? Majority will say they could prefer a man boss.
Why would they prefer?
They will prefer a woman because they believe that if a woman is there, especially if an intelligent woman is there, you are going to be a workaholic. That is one thing. A man boss can still accommodate to prove that actually you got it on the merit. And again, there are some people also believe that woman boss may not have the opportunity to be able to have that opportunity to give them the directive men can easily follow. I hope you understand. When you have a woman boss, when they give a particular directive, men folks normally feel this is who are you? I'm a man. Exactly. So that kind of thing normally restrict women opportunity. But we are going beyond that bounds now. We are going beyond that bounds in the sense that we let women have opportunity to be in that position. Like National Assembly, this current 10th Assembly, you'll be shocked. Just 12 of them will be coming to National Assembly.
Yes, just 12 of them.
And majority of them is in the House of Reps. Very few. I don't think they will be up to 3 in the Senate. Majority of them are in the House of Reps. Just 2 or 3.
We saw a real decline from 2019 to
today. And the reason is because are we going to say, okay, because the political timing is getting more tough? Because
even from 2015, because I remember when we interviewed Senator Binta Gaba then, she also lamented the issue that, see, they have reduced.
Exactly.
I think it started reducing from 2015.
2015, then 2019. Yes, because 2015 and 2019, it was almost the same figure.
Yes, it was almost the same.
Even this one, because I think the highest was in 2019 was 15. Now this one is going to be about 12 of them.
I think we had a higher figure in before then.
2011 about 23 women altogether.
Yes.
But now it has really
gone down. And it's just declining.
And that's why people ask, is it because the political timing is getting more tougher? Now we are now putting a situation whereby women who don't have that rigorous spirit to go into the political contest are not giving way, or men are just muscularly taking over the political space. But for me, I'm seeing it as a position whereby the political timing is getting more tougher. It's getting more tougher in the sense that opposition parties are now becoming more stronger.
But if our election processes are devoid of these
rigors of this intrigue of this
it's not the situation where we have BVAT. Somebody just does stomping like we saw in FCT. It was relatively peaceful. Like everybody will say, it was relatively peaceful. But so in that kind of atmosphere, if this kind of atmosphere is to stay, don't you think that women, it will encourage more women to come?
It's not even at the national. Now we are looking at the national level. BVAT. It is from the internal democracy of the parties that is limiting women participation.
But most parties will say, no, we are giving funds. They always reduce. I know that most parties, if not all, reduce fees for women.
And when they give them free fund, then they now tell you, can you spend 15 million for campaign? Because the political party is not ready to spend
it out for you.
They spell it out. I've had the opportunity of working with someone as a researcher, and he would say he want to go as a research assistant. He said he want to go and contest for governorship. And we all laughed. And when he came back, he said, do you know what they asked me to go and bring? 2 billion naira. That was 2019. 2 billion naira from the political. Can you spend 2 billion naira to contest for governorship? And he said, where will you get such money? And he went to a smaller party. The smaller party he went, he had the little money, but he could not make the noise, or he could not make that effect that will make him popular. And that's what they normally put to the women. Can you spend? Like the senator that's coming from Lagos, a woman. I don't think she will spend her personal money.
Okay, we have a woman
coming from Lagos, a senator, replacing Tinubu from APC.
That's a good one.
She was a former,
replacing her.
Yeah, replacing her. A former commissioner for that matter. But I think the party at that level, with the grassroots mobilization they had, she won't spend that much.
Yes,
but because she has already passed through the system and they presented her, and you know what it means, they accepted her. Can other parties also do that? And can other states also do that? Can other people also do that at their state level, that they can push those women into that political opportunity that they, not just at the political level, including directorship, including DGs. Check the women that are DGs under this president's administration. There are very few.
Yeah.
Women that are directors, permanent, how many of
We
them?
saw even Senator Binta, she was also chairman of APC in Adamawa then.
Exactly.
You know, she, according to her then, that there was no one to pick the ticket. She was practically begging people to come up. You know, APC was relatively new that time.
Exactly.
So she was like, okay, let her go in for it too. And that's how she won.
So if the political parties can give those women the opportunity, like in Abuja now, they normally have 3 House of Reps, normally have 1 senator. Can they say, okay, in the next election 2027, we're going to give women 1 opportunity, just like what has happened. Now it will work and it will fly. Other states can also do the same. Those states that have 9, can we give women 3,
what happened?
4?
We used to see that feel that it's political parties that sponsor women, even candidates for politics. So it's
not like that.
You not sponsor yourself.
Based on space. They will give you the budget of the campaign, then you now bring it. Political parties don't have money because members are not paying dues. How many members are paying dues? That's why you see that they turn it to money back politics, whereby anybody that has, they will just give the person the ticket and it goes. That's why some women lose out in the parties, in the ticket and the rest of them. But when you see a woman that has money, if you can pull the weight behind that money, or you have a woman that has a godfather, like this daughter of David Mark, she's coming back to the National Assembly. The daughter of Ibori, she's coming back to the as a result, their father are there. So their father is giving them the opportunity and bankrolling them. And that's what happened. But especially when a woman doesn't have that kind of financial power, what can the political party do for them? Is to just say, let her go and represent us well. And that's what we expect from the political party. But as it stands, they normally don't give women the opportunity to contest for political position.
So what about MDs? We talk about
government,
like we have
DGs,
on our screen, we have Ngozi Williams, but they are not also giving women too.
It's also that one particularly appointment.
No.
If a woman is like recently, the new MD of Nexim Bank was a woman. But do you know what happened? There was opposition to her. There was a protest, but the protest died down as a result of what she proved herself that she has the qualification, and she's there. And the government also the president also stand his ground that this is the person that
we are not going to change
it. But you know what normally grace women appointment, either in the political party, is that the moment they are choosing, there will be opposition. If you choose a woman and her SA now, the first set of people that will oppose to her, they could be women, as they normally say. But I know that it is the men that normally engineer. It is the men that normally engineer the women and say, look at this one, this one that have not been able to take care of his house. She wants to become this. Then the woman is not true. We say she knows how to cook. We say she knows to take care of her children. And that's how they will start protesting against. But when women cooperate with themselves and give their fellow women the opportunity, it will fly. And that's what we should be encouraging them. That support your fellow women, and men should also support their women. I, for example, it has been an opportunity for my wife that when she's asked the opportunity, she can go and contest for House of Reps in her locality in National State. And I've always tell her that when the opportunity time comes, you can go. Yes. It's not necessary that we will stop you or tell you not to. And I believe that when the time comes, she will go. That's how we should be encouraging women. And the political party should give them that opportunity to fly.
There are also allegations. We don't know how true it is that most women in politics are, most times they are made to compromise because most men, before they can get tickets, just like it's everywhere anyway.
Exactly.
Because we also hear similar stories even in the acting industry or movie industry, as you want to call it. So the same applies to politics. They said which man will want, maybe by 12 o'clock they want to meet, or 1 a.m. they are holding meetings, and your wife tells you that she's going for a meeting. So most times, most of these women are compromised. How true is that?
The question I put out, I've heard this. The question I normally put out to people that say, is it all the time political party hold meeting 12 midnight? Are there not period they are even holding meeting on daytime? So when they are not giving that excuse that because they hold meeting 2 a.m., they hold meeting 12, it is not always like that. The issue is that they just use all those schemes to scheme out the women in the ways, and all those excuses to paint the political atmosphere that this is how the political atmosphere is, that women must go for meeting for 2 a.m. and they also must compromise, they must do this, no, it is not always like that. But the key issue is that the political parties should just be open to women and allocate. If we have 10 House of Reps, we are giving women 4. Simple. Good. If we have 15, we are giving them. Yes. Like now, Adamawa State now is a woman that is contesting under APC.
Yes, as a Guba candidate.
are we going to say that particular woman was holding meeting 12 midnight, 2 a.m. all the time since the beginning of the campaign till now? It wasn't like that. It's just that those excuses were just painted out so that people can feel that, okay, is this how tough politics is? But one thing I know that is so tough in politics is the money. When the campaign train of APC came to Massacre Maraba recently, I was passing through that area, and I saw how people gathered, and they'll be mobilized back. I saw buses. Those buses will be paid for, not by somebody that is not contesting, by the person that is contesting. You will pay them back. You will give them logistics. I saw food. Caterers came to give them food in that place. Who will pay for all those things? They will still give them stipend. So it is that money. It is the funding. Even in US politics, it is about funding. So it is the funding aspect. And you know, there's this nature about women, especially women who normally call Akagong, that doesn't want to release. And you ask her to go and contest for election. And she went to a political campaign. They say, madam, these people, we have 10 groups to give 10,000, 100,000 from which money? She will reason.
Perhaps it's because Nigeria is politics is all about money.
No, it's not only Nigeria. Even in US, they spend money for advert, for many things, for mobilization. People that are contesting for election, when one political party say we don't give shishi, many people say this is a lie. They still give. The issue is that you may not give as the way others are giving. In point, you will spend ordinary SUG election that students are contesting. You will mobilize ordinary local government.
You posters and all.
NUJ will be doing election in the FCT this year. Who is going to contest for SUG, NUJ, FCT, NUJ? Won't he spend money for mobilization? That is how it must. Not that you are giving the people money by hand, but they will tell you they are coming with bus. Even as an African person, that generosity is in you, that when people come to greet you, you must find something and give to them. You know that you are bribing them. But the key that is keeping more women away from politics is the funding. And women have not yet understood the liberal art in politics in terms of giving. They must take it. Women have not gotten that liberal art that when we're in politics, we must give. Whether they want to collect.
So what is the way forward? Because just like we have been saying on the topic, that we are seeing a dwindling participation of women in politics and representatives too. So what should be done?
Number one,
what is the way out?
The way out is that we have to go and reactivate the Nigerian affirmative action law that gives 35% of all political positions to women. We have to reactivate that law. The law is there, but it's now not be applied. So we must reactivate it to apply it. That in every position, either in churches or in mosques, anywhere, women should have 35% position. That means if you're having 10, women should have like 4 or 3, occupying 4 or 3 of those positions. That's what we need. That's number one. Then number two, women should also have the opportunity to fund themselves in politics.
How should they go do that? Should political parties now have a fund or something like that to take care of those issues?
Definitely. And let's take it this way. If political parties say we are giving women free ticket, free this, that means they have removed
I know that most times
now going to the field to campaign is another ball game, and that's why the political party will withdraw and say, for this one you're on your own. Say, where would the woman get the money to fund the campaign?
Shouldn't the political parties come up with something to take care of that for the women?
Definitely, if they come out with something to take care of that for women, then you should be in a conglomerate that other political parties should feature women against women. That is the only way out. If they feature a woman against man, definitely the man will spend and it will spend and the person will win. But what I'm thinking is, any political party see opportunity whereby you can feature a woman against woman and see the best woman win the election. Not that a woman against man or a woman against 10 men. By the time they do it that way too, they will lose out. But we can now do like PDP feature a woman, APC feature a woman, Labour Party feature a woman. Then in a woman they contest, so let us vote for the right choice. That is the best way. Then the key thing is that we must reactivate our affirmative action law of 35%. Even though some people are saying they are going to make it 40. Let us start with this 35%. Let us see the evidence.
You're not activated 35. You say you want to make it 40.
Like Tinubu now said that he's going to give women a lot of role. And the women play a key role. There were about 3 different women groups in his political party campaign.
Even when he was governor of Lagos State too.
He tried, appointment. But in this point in time, national level, I just hope that the centrifugal forces and centripetal forces will not stop him from appointing not less than 10 women in a
Yes.
ministerial position. If by the time comes for
We're going to think of it. This administration, now that you just mentioned it, we also have some women. We have do we still have Gbemi Saraki? Do we still have
They are still there.
apart from women, we don't really hear about
we have
them.
Gbemi Saraki, we have Ahmed, Zainab Ahmed, we have one Minister of Industry,
Apart from
we have
Minister
a
of
Minister of Women
Finance,
Affairs. The thing
and
is that
we don't hear about them.
because their ministry is not making use of the media. You know, there are some people that are media shy. They are very media shy. I remember when I was on the editor of a particular magazine, and I will normally go out focusing on science and technology, and I'll go out to go and meet some DGs. They will the PRO will tell me that our guy is a media shy. He doesn't like talking to the media. And I'll say, why is he here?
And just like what you pointed out, that if they have positions already, they can actually use their position to project themselves.
Exactly.
This is an opportunity for them, and they are just not doing anything.
They are not, the issue is that some of them, the media aid micro manage their media appearance. They only go to function that they know that the president is coming, or a fellow minister will be there. But the one that they know that can showcase the entire Nigerians, showcase them to them, they don't go. They just send their representatives to go and feature. But that one apart. The issue is that most of them are media shy because of the questions someone may ask. Like recently, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy said they are going to be spending 10 billion naira on startup every year. By the time that question will be asked, a further question will be asked on that money now, you see that something they may not say the right thing at the right time. So people are always very shy.
Please, don't quote me again. No, don't do this.
Something like that. So they're always media shy.
You were talking about the way forward, and you talked about activating the affirmative
action of 35%.
Get political parties to feed women.
Exactly, feed women against women, not just feeding women against men. You know, women. If they feature women against women, there will be open and transparent in the whole campaign. And the campaign will not be about exactly, they're competing against themselves. And with women that qualify for such position. And the third thing I would say is that let Nigerians now understand that they must give women the opportunity. Even when you see a woman contesting, vote for that woman. That is the key thing. Vote for that woman. That's what the
and come to think of it, the Nigerian population places women as a higher.
Exactly.
So why are we not having more women in elected positions?
The key message is that the major issue is that funding is one of them. Then the political parties giving them that opportunity is another issue. Then we ourselves recognizing that a woman can be a woman boss for us. If you have a woman boss now, how will you treat that person? If I have a woman boss, I work in an organization that a woman was the head, and I know how she treated everybody in the office equally. And we workers also have the opportunity to respect her as a woman boss. But where I know that woman boss is always very tough is that they are very workaholic. If you know that you are very good, you work.
And they can also be unyielding. When they believe something is right, they will not. But you see that some men, they can just be like, okay,
don't worry, we'll get it done.
But a woman will say, no, you
must go and do it. That's why I said that you want to work only under a woman.
And she will go by the rules.
She goes by the rules.
A woman boss will not bend the rules for you.
No
matter what. Thank you so much, Olamide. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. And you have so much there to always deliver. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you same time.
Thank you for
having you. Thank you so much. And viewers, this is where we end today's Inside Nigeria, your number one breakfast show. Don't forget, same time, same station tomorrow. I remain Winifred Ubebo. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.